Join discord.gg/flat earth and enter a VC check-in room, and someone will come along to VC verify you to get involved with the conversation about our Earth.
Roohif Part 8. Partial as stream restarted just before.
So I hope you understand that the plane must change its attitude necessarily in order to fly around the globe. I mean, it just has to happen. There's no option for it not to.
You know what sucks is I was going through the valley of cellular death when that conversation, when I was first talking about my daughter-in-law's parents, and I missed most of that. By the time I came back, you were just finishing your closing statements there. I missed a lot. Damn it. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Maybe ask a pilot if they need to point the nose below horizontal to descend. They will say no, they don't. The attitude of the plane will still be above horizontal even on a descent.
Holy crap, dude. You are out to lunch, bro. Don't get me wrong. I think you're just confused. Okay, let's say a plane is maintaining level flight and it's at a certain pitch, right? Or differential angle from horizontal. Horizontal said which in your model is assumed by the vector of gravity, right? Said vector would change constantly, orienting the planes horizontal in a differentiation between its previous location, which is known as a change in attitude, which must occur of a necessity, just as Mr. Woofy, who alleges to be a pilot and said so himself. Not that I care what he has to say, because his weighing in on it is irrelevant. This must happen in your model, without exception. If it doesn't happen, then it's not your model in reality. So, of a necessity, the plane must dip its nose down. Now, that doesn't mean that the pilot must do it, but the plane's physical structure will change in attitude as it follows an arced path over an Earth that you allege exists, with gravity creating the horizontal level for it. It's not that hard to comprehend. I don't know why I have to struggle with Globers about this. I mean, Wolfie got it 7 years ago. You guys missed the memo? Now, oh, sorry, I apologize. I'm quite irate because my air conditioner is broken, all right? Sorry if I hurt anybody's fifis, including the listening audience.
I'm just hurting that you don't have any AC. I feel sorry for you, bro. I'm just hurting for you, AI. I feel sorry that you don't have your AC, man. I wish I could cheer.
Dude, you should feel sorry for me that I have to explain to Globers 7 years removed from the argument when it came out that a plane following an arced path over a globe where horizontal is determined by the gravitational vector, said vector which would change at every instant, would necessitate the plane having a different orientation than it previously had every single second it travels. I don't know why it's so complicated.
Well, the problem is that you can bring information and knowledge to a glober, but you can't make them think.
Now, said attitude data would exist if they were recording the differential between the gyro, if it wasn't self-correcting in a certain manner, which some do, and the black box data recording the attitude of the plane. You would see the plane's attitude change relative to the gyro over an arc, over its flight, as it transverses a curved surface while maintaining a distance equal from that curved surface known as a cruising altitude. Right? Now, don't get me wrong, this is the data that Woofy claimed he had and he could provide and prove that the plane takes this path and put a stake through the heart of the flat earth daydreams, right? 7 years later, we're still waiting for it. Now, the case probably is that he can't give it to us because he doesn't have the clearance, and nobody's going to give him it, when he puts in a request, say, oh, I'd like this data so I can disprove some flat earthers. It's going to get laughed at. But let's check this out, friends. That's not stopping anyone who owns a plane or has any of these equipment from doing it themselves and providing the data that the attitude of the plane certainly changed in concordance with the curvature rate alleged for the globe. I mean, it should be out there by now. Somebody should have picked up that mantle and done the experiment, or whatever you want to call it, test, demonstration. I'm really just scratching my head why I have to argue this point with people. Don't get me wrong, I have to argue it with flat earthers too. Now, the most stupidest thing I ever heard in regard to this is I told someone that the plane changes its attitude. And the dude was like, dude, we're trying to have an argument here, not talk about girls being upset. I'm like, what? And then I had another guy, he was talking about altitude. He thought I was talking about altitude the entire time. I'm like, no, dude, attitude. The orientation in free space relative to your initial position. That is your attitude. That's what it's called. That's what they use gyroscopes for. I mean, I don't know why this is complicated. Literally painful to have somebody who has been in this arena for years and years and years come in and argue against the fact that a plane traveling over a curved surface maintaining an altitude and the vector of gravity constantly changing, which means horizontal would constantly change, which means that the plane, in order to maintain its pitch relative to horizontal, must change its location in free space constantly. Holy crap, it's painful. Literally makes my ears bleed.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny. I agree with you 100%, my friend.
Now, I will admit that Mr. Roohif might be arguing with a lot of people, and he could have the fog of war, and he didn't eat his vitamins last week, and so he may be operating in a diminished capacity, and we'll give him a mulligan so he can go research it and come back and then admit that this is what a plane must do if the Earth is a globe, as he claims, and the vector of down is indeed radial to the center of the Earth, or approximately thereof, that the plane must, of a necessity, exhibit a constant and continuous change in attitude as it flies.
Yeah, I think Roohif used to be named Dogs Are Gods. Maybe I'm wrong, but
No, what? Not even close, dude.
It's not the same guy.
Yeah, dude, one's like a kid and one's clearly a dude. It's like
Well, I okay.
one's like an American or a British twat, and the other one's like a dude that's like from Australia or something. I mean, come on now.
Oh, okay, my mistake. For some reason, I thought it was the same guy. Same kind.
No way.
Same kind of attitude.
No, Dogs Are Gods is kind of like a freshman, maybe like a freshman in college, just starting into an astronomy or astrophysics set. You know, where he's still doing his 101s. No, Roohif's like, you know, he's like a dude that's been involved in the argument for quite a while. Way back in the day.
My mistake then.
Yeah, used to be considered a worthy opponent until today.
Yeah, well, I don't think it.
No, I'm teasing. I'm just taking out my anger on you. Okay, forgive me. I apologize.
All right, it's all good.
But I'm actually dead serious. If you come in here as a seasoned glober and tell me that an airplane wouldn't experience a constant change in attitude as it travels an arced path over an Earth where the horizontal is based on a differential vector of gravity to the center of the Earth as it transverses from point A to point B, and you try to say that with a straight face, I'm going to laugh my ass off. I mean, I don't get it, dude. It's painful, bro. Painful.
I don't get
Look, it could be an oversight. It could be an oversight. Lots of people make oversights. It's fair that people aren't perfect. Okay, but now that so-and-so and homebro has been informed, they should go realize their mistake, come back and concede it. It doesn't change anything about the argument because the proof is in the pudding and nobody's presented any pudding yet. So it's not going to make the Earth a ball, or it's not going to make the Earth a globe. It's not going to make the Earth flat. It's not going to make the Earth convex just by conceding that a plane must do that if it's traveling over a globe. Now, if it's traveling over a flat Earth, right, where horizontal is parallel to the surface, generally, then you will not experience this dramatic and constant change in attitude. You'll experience a general attitude of horizontal the entire flight. Now, you could determine which is happening right? By just recording your attitude in comparison to a gyro that doesn't have any of the gimmicks that cause it to force itself horizontal. So it maintains its orientation from when you first spun it up. So it can be done. Nobody's done it yet. But let's be clear. There's no need to do it to understand that that's what must happen if the Earth's a globe. Contrary to the claim that if the Earth was flat, the horizon would render it at eye level. I mean, get real. A modicum of research will reveal that that's nonsense, even though some flat earthers have claimed it in the past. Cough, cough, Eric Dubé. Well, at least I'm awake now for my drive. Woo!
Something got your blood pumping. That's for sure.
Like I said, though, like I said, I forgive him. I forgive him. I give him a mulligan. He can come back another time and admit he was wrong, or maybe admit there was a misunderstanding, and that way he could maintain that he was correct, but just misunderstood.
I just don't think that'll ever happen. Wishful thinking. Wishful thinking. Would be nice to, see one of them actually concede to something.
Yeah,
Obvious.
it's like a hand. Bro, it's this simple. Go to a clock, like and with hour hand and minute hand. Take a little photo of an airplane or a sticker, stick it or glue it to the hour hand, and then watch it go around in a complete circle. And you will see that the plane completely changes its orientation in free space from its initial position, which is known as a constant change of attitude. Okay, that's the easiest, simplest way I can explain it. That's what the plane must do if the Earth's a globe and it's traveling around at a level flight. That's what it's going to do. So the nose is going to constantly go down while the tail constantly goes up. Period. End of story.
It's flying upside down.
Yes. If it continues all the way around, yes, it'd be upside down from its initial position.
Yep. That's so bizarre.
This ain't controversial.
No, I agree. It's not.
Listen, friends, this is one of those contingent factors that would be necessary and cannot be otherwise, unless the plane is intentionally counteracting this, right, by flying sideways. Right? So in order for a plane to maintain its attitude for an entire flight from point A to point B, it literally would have to fly straight up. And then, do backflips and all this weird stuff compared to where it was before. And planes don't do that. I mean, in theory, I suppose they could if they had the right, engineering and engines and rockets and whatever, but there's a reason why they don't, and that's because they're designed to fly straight ahead.
Yeah.
With the up and down, of course.
Yeah, planes are designed to be aerobatic in mind, for sure. A friend of mine used to own a plane that was, what do you say, could fly upside down, do rolls and whatever. I can't remember what it was called. But yeah, plane has to be designed to do those things.
Did Homeboy leave?
Yeah, he left a long time ago.
Yeah. Dude, I apologized.
You're right. Nothing to apologize for.
Oh man, though.
Seriously, you got nothing to apologize for.
Dude, we got Globers now, who've been in the game that still think the horizon should be at eye level and still think that planes don't experience a change in attitude. I mean, come on now.
Zealots.
So now that I've explained how simple it is to understand that the plane must nose down continuously, period, end of story, cannot be otherwise in principle and in practicality. Okay, there's no argument there. Transversely, let's go over to the horizon at eye level. Well, the horizon, right, is allegedly part of the ground, right? And the ground is below you, so it would always be below you in principle. So you would expect it to be below you, not exactly at the midline of your vision, regardless of the shape of the Earth. Unless, of course, you're living on concave Earth, maybe you could say the horizon would be higher than the midline of your vision. But, I mean, otherwise, like in order for the horizon to truly be at the midline of your vision, when you think about it, if you have ideal geometry, it must be literally inside your eyeball. Like your eyeball must be at zero elevation. Right? And what I mean by zero is your eyeball is literally in the earth. Half of it's in the earth and half of it's above the earth. Otherwise, you have sky between you and the ground. That sky has to be rendered. Now, you lose some of that rendering ability because you have a limited angular resolution and you have a limited sensor size. So some of that is lost. So it appears to be at exactly midline in your vision the lower you are to the ground. Appears, not is. But as soon as you remove yourself from the ground and open up those angles, you would expect the horizon to be lower and lower and lower. That makes absolute perfect sense, cannot be argued otherwise, and anyone presenting you with any other way of thinking about it is wrong. It's that simple. And that includes flat earthers and globers alike. But the globers, they're so disingenuous, they want to latch onto it without researching it and say, oh, some flat earthers said the horizon should be exactly at your eye line no matter how high you go. Well, I never heard that. I heard phraseology like rises to, rises towards, rises up. Very few flat earthers have ever been foolish enough to say renders at exactly midline of your vision no matter how high you go. But globers latch onto that phrase and then they say, aha, if the earth was flat, the horizon will be exactly in the middle of my vision. I can show you an image where it's not exactly at the middle, therefore the earth is a globe. That doesn't follow.
No, not at all. You're right. You're above the earth, it's going to be below you, period. You're absolutely right. Good way to explain
it. No globers were physically or emotionally harmed in the filming of this segment. Thank you. Have a good day.
Tags! What is your profession? See, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.